Hello, this is Steve Malone with ComsFX. I hope you're doing well today and you're getting some good trades. Today I want to take a look at the major currencies and how those major currencies can affect your Guppy trading. As a matter of fact, if you watch the major currencies and you look for moves related to the major currency, and what I mean by that is you're watching the euro, you're watching the pound sterling, you're watching the Swiss franc, the Japanese yen, or the Australian dollar. You're watching those specific currencies in the marketplace. When those specific currencies make a move, then look for all currency pairs related to that currency to make that same sort of move. And we had that happen today. So what I'm getting at is, if you watch that major currency, in this case the pound versus the dollar, we've seen the pound over the last few months from late August, early September make a move all the way up, 800 pip move from 54.60 all the way up to 62.60. And market participants have been looking for the market to bounce off of this level and pull back some. And we had that happen today, and it affected all currency pairs related to that major currency, the pound sterling. So let's drop back down to my 15-minute chart that I normally trade in the Guppy method, and you can see the tremendous move that we had down today. Now you can see that it had dropped basically near the beginning of the New York session here, and as we got into the New York session, it broke the sell entry level of 61.82. We had clear direction, clear momentum, the trend moving down based upon the guppies, and we had the dots showing us where to enter and where to exit. Take a look at this. When the market broke the sell entry level, it moved right down to the sell target number 1. Bounced around there, and look, it pinned down almost to the sell target number 2, came back up, then eventually settled down to what? Right at the sell target 2. I've often heard from folks that these dots levels are oftentimes like price magnets. Using the proper algorithm related to what the market's doing, I often find that the market will hit these levels. Now, with this big move down in the pound sterling, so the pound sterling in and of itself had this big move down, let's see what took place on the other currency pairs related to the pound sterling. The pound Aussie, okay, here we have the pound sterling versus the Aussie dollar. You can see it too made a move down. Now, it did break the sell entry level and not reach the sell target number 1 level, but it pinned back up. It held the session open. Right here is your sell stop loss. Never got up to that. As a matter of fact, it came up close to the session open. That held, therefore we had a downward bias on the day and moved all the way back down and pinned right there, and now working its way, or attempting to work its way back up towards the sell entry. Take a look at the pound Swiss. It came down, had a beautiful move. Again, trend, direction, momentum by the guppies. You relate that with the entry level and then the target. So here this comes down right to our entry level, bounces around a little bit. Again, it didn't come back up to the sell stop loss, held the session open, came back down, settled right in the neighborhood of the sell target number 1 level, and then continued to push on down right to the sell target number 2, and then even down further. Now, I've mentioned to folks that you could potentially calculate where it's going by simply stacking the levels. So in this case, we can see that it was a 37 pips from the entry to sell target number 2. If we go another 37 pips down, that takes us somewhere in this vicinity. It went down a little bit lower, but there's about 37 pips right there that it went down to. We could have gotten actually double the quantity of pips that was shown originally by the dots here, but a nice move nonetheless because of the original move on the pound versus the dollar. One more to show you here is the pound yen. Very similar situation. Now, related to the pound yen, there's certain entry rules that didn't meet the criteria here. As a matter of fact, in this case, we didn't have the proper setup here that we'd look to have, but nonetheless, the market turned over, and with the trend direction momentum shown by the guppies, the market continue pushing on down. What I'm driving at here is not so much the guppies as is look what the pound sterling in and of itself, how it affected all the currency pairs related to it. Again, the pound Aussie, the pound Swiss, and the pound yen. Now, the next time you're trading and you hear about some news related to a certain currency, watch that currency versus the dollar. And if that has a strong move against the dollar, go look at the other currency pairs related to it. Like in this case, the pound Aussie, pound Swiss, pound yen. Also, the pound Kiwi had a decent move. Not as big as some of these moves, but it had an okay move today. So again, watch the currencies. If you hear any news related to a specific currency, then look what it does with the dollar and how it also affects the other currency pairs related to it. And this will give you an opportunity to parlay your potential pips on the day. What we're simply looking to do is say, hey, can I get a 2-for-1 special here? Can I see a situation in the major currency pair and that give me the opportunity to pick up some pips in other related currency pairs to that major currency? Well, folks, this is Dean Malone with CompositeFX. Hope some of the information I've shared with you about trading the dots Guppy with following a major currency will help you in your trading. Y'all make it a great day. Get some good trades. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.